Welcome to another episode of How to Ride Your Motorcycle. This one's a very important one because a lot of you guys buy motorcycles to travel with, specifically going on highways and doing long road trips, and that's what the end goal is for a lot of you guys who are buying adventure bikes. And of course, you got to get from point A to point B. It's got to require going on the highway, right? So in this video, I'm going to cover some points that I think are very important before you actually go on the highway. And then once we cover those points, we're going to get on the highway and I'll tell you guys how to get on it, how to get off of it, which lanes to be on, which lanes are the safest, etc., etc. So with that being said, let's throw on the gloves and get on out of here. All right, so you just got your motorcycle. You've been watching my previous videos on how to ride your motorcycle for the first time, and now you started riding with your motorcycle. And so you already know how to do some parking lot maneuvers, you already know how to do your U-turns, and you're pretty comfortable riding your motorcycle on public roads. These are some of the requirements that you need to pass first before you can actually ride on the highway. I do not suggest getting a motorcycle and then 1 week later taking your bike on the highway. That's not how things work. Everything that you do has to be methodical. A motorcycle is not something that you should rush. It's not something that you get on and automatically become an expert like driving a car. A car has a shell, it's got 4 wheels, lots of traction, and it's a lot safer because it's got multiple airbags. I've been riding for close to 4 years now, and a lot of things are just automatic to me. So as I talk to you, I'm not really thinking about how to ride a motorcycle. I'm not really thinking about my throttle position. I'm not really thinking about my foot position, where my legs are, all that other stuff. All I'm thinking about is riding a motorcycle and viewing the road and scanning the horizon for potential threats. That's what I mostly concentrate on now. When you're riding a motorcycle for the first time and you're riding it on public roads like this, there's a lot to think about, not just riding your motorcycle from point A to point B. And then after a while, things become automatic. And the only time you want to start riding your motorcycle on the highway is when things become semi-automatic. What I mean by that is when you've gotten to a point where you're comfortable and you don't have to think so much. You get on the bike, you feel great, and you're really not uncomfortable anymore getting on and off your bike, riding from point A to point B. It could take anywhere between 2 weeks or 4 weeks, or it can even take 2 months for some people. But this is what I mean by not rushing the process. Ride your ride. You might have heard of that a couple of times by a few different people. Riding your ride basically means not caring what other people do or think or say. You ride it based on your comfort level and based on your skill level. Alright, so now that we got all the basic stuff out of the way, let's hit the highway and I'll discuss with you how to get into it and what to watch out for. Before you get into the highway, always go in your right lane if the highway is on your right. And stay all the way to the far right because cars are going to be merging in from your left side and you don't want to be T-boned. I usually like to stay somewhere in the middle because that's in my escape route, just in case. But in a situation like this, if there's nobody on my right, I'm going to do a head check and make a right turn. And I live in California, so we can make rights on a red turn. And I'm not sure about you guys, but when you get on the highway, you want to speed up to about 55 to 60 miles an hour, depending on your highway speed limit. And you want to coast somewhere around 60 miles an hour. You want to look on your left side, not look in your mirror, but look, do a head check, and then as you do a head check, merge in. And as you merge in, put on your signal, stay on your left side of the lane, and go all the way to the left side. Doing a head check, looking at my mirror, doing a head check, looking at my mirror. And now, I'm at a comfortable place, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to position myself on the left side of the lane for 2 reasons. Number one, this is a good escape route. Just in case I see somebody coming in hot from my right side, I can easily blend in with the traffic on the left. Secondly, this is a passing lane. In California, this is considered the passing lane. I'm not sure in other states, but you're not really supposed to stay on the left lane, only supposed to pass in it. That being said, for motorcyclists, it's probably a safer lane, but that all depends on who you ask. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to stay on this lane, but stay on my left-hand side. And as I mentioned, it's safer because I could always merge in with the other traffic. Now, if there's a car like this in front of me and I want to pass it, I will do that. As far as your highway is concerned, I'm not sure how many lanes you have, but generally speaking, you don't want to stay on the right 2 lanes on that side, because that's the entrance and the exit ramps for your highway, and there's a lot of traffic coming in and out. As you can see, those guys are getting off on that exit, and that's the only time that you're supposed to stay on those lanes. Otherwise, the lanes that you should be on is this lane or that lane. Now, as you can see, the car in front of me is about 30 bike lengths away, and that's exactly how far you're supposed to stay from cars and other motorcyclists. Now, if you're doing a group ride, obviously it's a different story because you're going to be in a staggered formation, but when it comes to cars, you want to be as far away from them as possible. And another good reason for staying on the left side of the lane is because you might have objects in the middle of the road that you might not see, and your bike might go over it and potentially cause an accident. Now, I know a lot of people say that the middle of the road is where there's a lot of grease and slippery surfaces and whatnot. Well, I don't know. I've been riding for about 3-4 years now, and I've never experienced such an issue. My reasons for riding on the left side is because it's safer, and other drivers can see you from their mirrors. But if you ride in the middle like I am right now, that truck cannot see me behind him. But if I ride here, not only can that guy on the left lane see me, but the truck can also see me. Now, as far as passing people on the highway, it's no different than doing it in a car, but with a motorcycle, you have to do it with a head check, and you have to do it quickly. So the reason why I say you have to stay far from other cars is because when you're doing a head check, it gives you a lot of space just in case he decides to brake and you're not expecting it. So doing a head check, putting on my signal, moving over, and obviously I'm going to stay to my left side. And now we're going to exit the highway, doing a head check, looking at my mirror, no cars. And as you can see, look how far away I am from other cars. That's exactly how far you want to be as well. The farther away you are from cars, the better. Now, when it comes to the right lane, I'm not going to stay on my left side. I'm going to stay on my right side. As I mentioned, this lane is specifically for merging in so you can exit off the highway. So if you stay on the left side, this leaves you vulnerable to people coming in from the left side trying to merge in. They might crash into you. So it's better to stay on the right side. If they come in too hot or somebody is coming in too quickly, merging in, and you'll be safer. Alright, so let's summarize everything that we learned so far. Some of the requirements to get on the highway are: first, need to be comfortable riding on the street. You also need to be good at maneuvering. You need to be comfortable doing that. Can you make U-turns? Can you make stops quickly? Are you comfortable with the front and the rear brakes? Is it semi-automatic for you to get on a motorcycle and ride it now? Or do you have to think about every single thing that you do? Because if you have to think about every single thing that you do, you're not prepared to get on the highway. In the beginning, when you're riding a motorcycle, you have to think about all these different things. And of course, let's not forget, every single sensation that your body feels is something new to you. You're not used to riding something this fast without a shell over your head, and you're not used to all the bumps and the vibration on your handlebars and the amount of speed a motorcycle has, especially the acceleration, because no matter what kind of motorcycle you have, I don't care if you have a 300 all the way up to 1,000 cc's, the acceleration of a motorcycle is way more than a car. Even a 350cc motorcycle, like a KTM RC390 or a Ninja 400, is faster than your average car. So in the beginning, there's a lot to think about when you're riding a motorcycle on the highway for the first time. You want to be comfortable first before you actually do it. And then once you do it, and you're on the highway, stay all the way to the left side and only stay on the right side when you're exiting the highway.
A few moments later.
I hope this video was helpful for you, and I hope you learned something from it. There will be another episode coming up with how to do lane splitting and a whole bunch of other stuff that I got planned for you guys. But until the next episode, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace!